The cameras flashed.
The crowd froze.
And just like that, Hollywood had a new obsession.
But we aren't starting this deep dive at a concert arena.
Right, or a red carpet.
Yeah.
We're actually setting the scene in a Los Angeles Superior courtroom.
The air is stale, the lighting is harsh, and the tension is just absolute.
Because unsealed legal documents have just hit the press.
And buried in the middle of, pages and pages of dry legalese, there is one specific text message that changed the trajectory of the biggest career in music history.
Quote, "I'm Khaleesi, and you are my dragon."
I mean, it sounds like bad fan fiction, but it was actually the spark that ignited a massive firestorm.
When you contrast that messy legal reality with the glittery, record-breaking success of the album that just dropped,
You start to see a very different picture of the world's biggest pop star.
it's the collision of fantasy and litigation. Welcome to StarScope Report.
Join us as we uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals.
From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
Today is February 22, 2026.
And we are dissecting the Showgirl era.
We're looking at the release of The Life of a Showgirl and why the biggest artist on the planet is suddenly facing a cancellation unlike any she's faced before.
It's a story fueled by leaked texts, diss tracks, and a strategic retreat into what we're calling the Fortress of Two.
So let's get right into it. To understand the fall, you really have to understand the height she was standing on.
Right, the album, The Life of a Showgirl, dropped back on October 3, 2025.
And if you only looked at the spreadsheet, you'd think everything was perfect.
Commercially, it was an absolute juggernaut.
We're talking over 4 million units in the first week.
4 million. And it topped the Billboard Hot 100, claiming the top 12 spots.
Plus, the accompanying documentary grossed $50 million in a limited run.
50 million. By every metric, it was a financial masterclass.
And culturally, it was unavoidable. The orange glitter aesthetic took over literally everything.
You couldn't open Pinterest without seeing it.
The Empire State Building was bathed in orange glitter lighting. It felt like this massive victory lap.
But here is where the data gets really interesting for us.
Because behind that orange glitter was a level of paranoia we haven't seen before.
This wasn't just an album release, it was a military operation.
We found reports confirming that only 5 people were allowed to hear the full album before it was released.
5 people, which is insane for a global release.
Usually you have marketing teams, radio liaisons, label execs.
Right, but who actually made the cut?
The list was Travis Kelce, her publicist Tree Payne, producers Max Martin and Shellback, and
But one single anonymous studio engineer.
that is it. Even the crew members on the music video sets had to sign ironclad NDAs.
They weren't even allowed to tell their own families what they were working on.
That level of compartmentalization suggests she didn't trust anyone outside that tiny nucleus.
And honestly, looking at the production credits, this secrecy signals a total shift in her creative architecture.
That's the key insight here. For the first time in a decade, she produced a full album without Jack Antonoff or Aaron Dessner.
She completely cut out the architects of the folklore and Midnight's eras.
She went to Sweden and worked exclusively with Max Martin.
And you could really hear it. The reviews were, well, The Guardian called it dull razzle-dazzle.
A lot of fans felt like they were getting whiplash. We went from the sad girl in the cabin poet vibe
To this billionaire showgirl persona.
It was a jarring transition. The lyrics shifted from introspection to what some critics called arrogant.
You had songs about extreme wealth, like WIUHAT, where the dollar signs are literally stylized in the title.
And lyrics about her relationship with Travis Kelce that felt, to some people, a bit out of touch.
There's that line in the song Wood that caused a lot of eye-rolling regarding the explicit nature of her new romance.
It felt like she was saying, I have everything, including the guy, and you're just watching.
It definitely felt like she was leaning into the untouchable status.
But if you think cutting off her longtime producers was cold, wait until you hear what happened to her best friends.
Because the Showgirl era isn't just about changing the sound. It's about clearing the roster.
We call this the architecture of attrition. It's not just a vibe shift, it's a purge.
And it started with some very public fallout with people who used to be in the inner circle.
Let's start with Charlie XCX. Because there was a track on the new album called Actually Romantic.
And when it leaked, the internet didn't take long to put the pieces together. This was a diss track.
And not a subtle one. The lyrics were incredibly specific.
She sings, I heard you call me boring Barbie when the Cokes got you brave.
Oof, that is just direct. It's an accusation and an insult wrapped in a pop melody.
And it gets more personal. High five my ex, and then you say you're glad he ghosted me.
For context, Charlie opened for the Reputation tour years ago.
But apparently there was bad blood simmering for a long time.
Charlie once made a comment about performing for a 5-year-old audience.
And clearly, that grudge was held.
The song also references Charlie's friendship with Maddie Healy.
It highlights a pattern we're seeing in this era. Loyalty is binary.
You are either entirely with her or you are an enemy. There is no middle ground.
And that brings us to Jack Antonoff.
This one hurts the most for the longtime fans.
Yeah.
Jack and Taylor were inseparable.
They built entire sonic worlds together, but he wasn't on the 5 people list.
He didn't work on the album at all, so what happened?
The prevailing theory from our sources is that Jack was scapegoated.
The reception to the Tortured Poets department was mixed, and a lot of the criticism fell on the production.
Jack's production.
Exactly. It seems he felt thrown under the bus.
And he didn't exactly stay quiet about it. He was seen praising Sabrina Carpenter as the future.
Which, in the language of pop stan Twitter, is major shade.
It's effectively saying the old queen is dead, long live the new queen.
It signals a massive shift. Taylor is isolating herself. We're seeing the Fortress of Two.
She is tightening the circle around herself and Travis Kelce, who she refers to on the album as her forever nightstand.
And cutting ties with the collaborators who defined her last decade.
It's a bold strategy. I don't need the squad. I just need my guy and my empire.
But we've talked about the music and the producers. We need to get to the headline story.
The legal twist that nobody saw coming, involving a dragon, a violin, and a federal subpoena.
If you're loving these Hollywood twists, make sure you're subscribed. We've got even crazier stories ahead.
Because right now, we have to talk about why Taylor Swift just got canceled. The Blake Lively files.
This is the story that really turned the tide on public opinion.
We have to go back to the movie.
Yeah.
It ends with us and the lawsuit involving Blake Lively and director Justin Baldoni.
Now, Blake and Taylor were legendary besties.
But when Blake got into this legal battle with Baldoni, things got extremely messy.
The trial was set for May 2026, so Discovery the Process, where lawyers get to see all the evidence was happening right around the album release.
And that's when the texts were unsealed.
What those texts revealed was Taylor acting as a sort of shadow strategist for Blake.
Blake was allegedly attempting a hostile takeover of the film's creative direction.
And Taylor was cheering her on from the sidelines?
The text that went viral was Blake texting Justin Baldoni, claiming she was Khaleesi, the mother of dragons from Game of Thrones.
And that Taylor and Ryan Reynolds were her dragons.
It's a massive power move.
Yeah.
Using your famous friends to intimidate a director.
It frames Hollywood not as a collaborative industry, but as a battlefield where the most popular kids win.
But it was the other text that really damaged Taylor's reputation.
Taylor sent a text calling Baldoni a B-word.
And mocking him for getting out his tiny violin when he complained about the production issues.
Tiny violin. It's just mean.
That's the word that stuck. The mean girl narrative solidified overnight.
The public turned. They saw a billionaire pop star and a wealthy actress punching down on a director.
Calling him names in private while presenting a sweet public image.
It shattered the illusion of kindness. For years, the brand was, I'm nice, I'm relatable.
But these texts read like high school bullying on a corporate scale.
And the PR cleanup was incredibly messy.
Taylor's team went to People magazine and claimed the friendship had halted.
And that she wanted no part in the drama.
Which is ironic, right? Because the text shows she was deeply involved.
She literally texted, I'll do anything for you.
But when the heat got too hot, the PR machine tried to gaslight the public into thinking she was just a bystander.
But here's the thing. The album contradicts the PR.
There is a song on the life of a showgirl called Canceled.
And the lyrics seem to double down on the loyalty.
This is a crucial point. In the track, she sings, tone deaf and hot, let's offer.
And then the kicker, they stood by me before my exoneration.
Now, some fans originally thought that exoneration line was about Brittany Mahomes.
Right, because of the political drama surrounding her at the time.
Exactly. And just to be completely clear, we are simply reporting on the fan theories from our sources here. We aren't taking any political sides on that situation.
Yeah, we're just looking at how the lyrics were being analyzed by the internet.
But looking closer, the exoneration line actually points to something else entirely.
It points clearly to Blake. Blake stood by Taylor during the 2016 Kim and Kanye drama, The Exoneration.
This song is a defense of loyalty to friends who are being called toxic.
It's Taylor saying, I don't care if the public hates you, you were there for me.
So you have the song defending the friendship and the PR team denying the friendship. It's a mess.
It creates this dissonance where the fans don't know which version of Taylor is real.
The loyal friend in the lyrics, or the distant celebrity in the press releases.
And the verdict from the public is that the parasocial pact is broken.
Fans are struggling to root for a billionaire who mocks directors in private and likes her friends canceled.
And that's not even the wildest part.
Wait until you hear the final theory on why this isolation might be exactly what she wanted all along.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, we have to look at where she is right now.
As of early 2026, Taylor is in what we might call clinical professional isolation.
She skipped the 2026 Grammys entirely.
She's basically gone underground to prioritize a quiet domestic life with Travis.
And here's the mastermind theory. Did she burn these bridges on purpose?
The Showgirl era is fundamentally about total control.
By consolidating trust in only 5 people, by cutting out the squad, she devalues the insider info that tabloids rely on.
So by being lonely, she becomes leak-proof.
In a way, yeah. It's lonely at the top. She traded the squad for the core.
But what cost? She has successfully ruined the friendship with Hollywood to preserve her own private life.
It's a scorched earth policy applied to her social circle.
It reminds me of the final track on the album, The Life of a Showgirl, the one featuring Sabrina Carpenter.
It's about a showgirl named Kitty in Vegas.
And it ends with just crowd noises.
Exactly. It's a signal. The performance is all that's left.
The friendships, the squad, the girl gang that was a previous era.
Now, it's just the showgirl and the audience. The noise of the crowd is the only validation left.
That is a haunting way to look at it. Stay tuned and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next.
Just to wrap this up, Taylor Swift has entered her showgirl era. Richer than ever, but arguably more isolated than ever.
The Dragon texts exposed a mean streak, the album alienated the indie folk fans, and the squad has crumbled.
She sings that she'll teach you the art of never getting caught.
But in 2026, with unsealed court documents and leaked lyrics,
has the mastermind finally lost her ability to hide in plain sight?
That is something for you to think about as this era continues to unfold.
It's definitely the question of the year.
You've been listening to StarScope Report, where we uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.